Welcome to the 2.0 Grandma Show. And it is my pleasure to be with Ms. Andrea Putting.
Andrea?
Andrea Putting. And I'm so excited because I cannot wait for you guys to hear what she has to say about what she's doing and what I refer to as her grandma days. Okay. And I'm sure, she can tell us the story from prior to being a grandma. But we want to hear about what you're doing now, all the wonderful things that you're doing. I love the term you called it, visionary entrepreneur. And so I want to hear about that. I think our community would love to hear about that. And then about the self-publishing. But before we get to your body of work, I want to talk about those other bodies that you love, your grandchildren, because that's what yes, all about. And this is how it got started. So I like to say that Grandma's 2.0 is so fab because it's for grandmas, it's by a grandma, and it's about grandmas. And so I love that we're focusing on us now at this chapter in our lives, and that we want the world to know that, as the kids say, we are outside, right? We are visible.
Oh, yeah.
So yes, and we're different kind of grandmas and grandmas of the past. So that's what I want us to talk about this afternoon. And so thank you so much for making the decision to be on the podcast today.
Thank you for
I hope that
inviting me.
you enjoy it just as much as I am going to enjoy it. Okay. So it was my pleasure. So right now I'm just going to let you just take over and tell us who you are. Who is Andrea, or is it Andrea? Make sure
Andrea.
Andrea. Yeah, so make sure that I'm saying it right. So if I ever say it wrong, you just please correct me. I'm not of being corrected, okay? So Andrea, and I have a really good friend whose name is Andrea as well. So I just wanted to make sure how to say it. So Andrea, tell us all about you, your grandkids, all of that before we jump into, like I said, your body of work and what you're doing, your platform.
Okay. So I am a grandma. I have two children and who are obviously they're grown up. And I have two grandchildren who are my daughter's children. And they're Mason, who is 4, and he's going to be 5 in February, so he'll be starting school in January.
Ooh,
And Miss Zoe, who is 2 going on 22.
right.
She'll be 3 in April, and they are bundles of energy, as most preschool children are. And I have them once a week, so it is we call it the Grandma Day.
Oh.
And they come and spend the day with me and get up to lots of mischief and pretty much do what they want to do. So it's a joy, and they keep me going. I often say they keep me jumping in puddles because I call my grandson the puddle warrior, because where there's water, he will find it. Some days we have to go off on search looking for puddles, and if there's no puddles to be found, he'll make puddles.
Right. I like that.
He loves the puddles. And one
Ooh.
day he looked at me and said, "Only puddles make me happy."
Only puddles. At least we call that self-awareness, because so that's smart. He knows what he likes, right? A lot of children don't
Yes.
know what they like. That is very smart. So he's emotionally intelligent.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And Zoe's a young lady who knows what she wants to, and she makes sure that everybody knows about it. And I've never heard a 2-year-old talk so much. This child can talk a leg off an iron pot. She'll disappear into her grandfather. My husband works at home most of the time, and she'll suddenly disappear into his office when he's working, and you'll hear her non-stop talking 10 minutes. It's just like talk, and I've got to go in there and pull her out. Granddad has to work today.
Him, right? That's funny. Oh my, yeah,
They're
2-year-old.
beautiful things.
Yes, yes, yes. There's nothing like it. So my mom used to say that, about my children and my sister's children and everyone, about how there's nothing like a grandchild. You'll see, she would always say, "Oh my gosh," she said, "they are so special. They just tug at your heart. You want to be around them. They make you feel young." All these things she used to tell me, and I was like, "Yeah, okay." But I get it. I get it now. And it is such a beautiful love. It's such a beautiful love. There is nothing like it because no
No,
matter what, they will accept you for who you are and vice versa. Right?
absolutely, absolutely.
It is the best relationship that there is, to be honest with you. Because your children, when they're young, now they like really accept it. But then when they become teenagers, they're like, they start thinking, well, I wonder why she does that way. That makes no sense. They question you, they judge you, and all of that. But it's that,
Yeah,
that level of maturity where they are so funny. But the grandchildren, friends for life. Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very
So
special.
yes, 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 yes. And like I said, there's
And
no other love like that to me.
yeah, and there's nothing more special than that moment when they say, "You're my best friend."
Yes. Yeah.
You know that that's not going to last forever.
Right, right. But it is beautiful when they say it right.
That's right. And you're just going to hold that to your heart. And
Yes, yes, yes,
recently there's been the granddad's my best friend, and that just fills my heart too, because
yes,
I know how much
yes,
that means to him.
yes.
And I'm happy for them to be granddad's best friends because, that's special for really very special.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. And that made me reflect on my granddaughter who is 11 now. And she was just say, Grandma, you are my best friend. Oh my God, Grandma, I just love to hang around with you. We would do trips to the Dollar Tree store, you know, for just because, or we would, Grandma, do you want to go for a walk? Yes. I remember one day we walked and they had to come pick us up. We walked so far. Right? It was so
Just keep on going. That's the
You're
special
right. We
time.
just
You
keep
just
on
you're just
going.
having so much fun. You just got to keep
Exactly.
on going.
She was like, Grandma, I'm tired. I'm like, okay, we'll call Granddaddy. He'll come get us, right? So, so that's what we did. But it was just so, yeah, there's those memories are so wow, just so important. I think it's important to both parties, to us and to them as well, because they have something to hold on to. And I say to grandmas all the time when we think about legacy, most of the time we think about financial, but it's more than that. It's the emotional, it's the intellectual, it's the spiritual, it's the everything is
Mm,
considered legacy because they learn so much from you. They learn from their parents, of course, as well, but they learn from the grandparents too. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing to leave with children and for them to cherish forever, and vice versa. So I did a book. I know that you're a publisher, and when we get to that, I want to talk to you about that because part of the book is asking grandmas about what they want to leave for their grandchildren and that sort of thing. So but yeah, so I'm excited to have you and thank you for sharing about your most precious, precious people in your life. So that was a beautiful story. And I have a 2-year-old grandson, and I tell you, the energy level is like 1,000. If you say 1 to 10, it's still 1,000, okay?
yep. Yep. They
Yeah.
just keep on going until they stop,
Yes. Yes.
until
I
they
was like,
crash.
wow. Yeah, I was like, wow, the energy. If I just had a little bit of that, maybe 1/10 of that energy, wow, I could be phenomenal, or as they say, more phenomenal than what I am now. But I tell you, the energy level is something to be I'm always enamored at it. I'm always in shock. I'm always surprised by it. I'm always like, wow, because it's just amazing. And I was like, and I think, was I ever that energetic? Reflecting back 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so funny. But anyway, so let's talk about your coffee. What do you call it? You call it coffee and
Chocolate
chocolate and
and
coffee
coffee.
day. Tell me about that. I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah, chocolate and coffee day is actually this Friday, the 15th of
And
December.
is this Friday coming up?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, okay, okay.
yeah, yeah. So chocolate and coffee day started 8 years ago,
Uh-huh.
and I was inspired by an event that happened in Australia the year before.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it was a tragic event. A a gunman carrying an ISIS flag stormed a chocolate and coffee cafe.
Mm, mm,
And the aftermath of that was the gunman and two innocent victims were left dead.
mm,
Now, at the time, because the gunman was Muslim, there was fear that there would be this outpouring of hate to the Muslim community.
mm,
And so they were afraid. They were afraid to leave their homes. If
mm,
they were in the streets, they were taking off their religious garb to keep themselves safe.
mm,
It was like this collectively, we were holding our breath. We just didn't know what was going to happen.
mm,
What
mm,
happened was 150,000 people flooded social media with the hashtag I will ride with you. They were
mm,
offering to ride the train, the bus, the ferry with the Muslim community to ensure that they got to where they were going safely.
how nice. Yes.
Yeah, so it was, instead of there being an outpouring of hate and fear, it was love and acceptance.
Mm,
And so it was a very tragic moment, but there was just this aftermath that really stayed with me. And it's like, well, why do we wait until there's a tragedy before we say to the world, we
mm,
want love and acceptance? We want to accept people for who they are in our community. And so that's what started me on Chocolate and Coffee Day. And I start called Chocolate and Coffee Day for Religious Harmony. And
mm,
I encourage people to reach out to somebody who is different to them, whether it's race, culture, abilities, just someone with different opinion,
mm,
anybody who's
mm,
different to them, somebody that they've met that they don't really know very well, just to share chocolate and coffee with them and listen to their stories.
oh my.
Have a conversation and find those things that are similar to each other. It's when we do that, we break down the barriers of division in our communities. So it's just such a simple thing. And people say to me, oh, can I come to your event? And I just, no, no, no. I'm not having an event.
Right.
You have an event.
Get an event. Right.
All
Right.
you have to do is chocolate and coffee. It's not expensive. It's not hard. You can just go to a local cafe, or you can turn up to somebody with a coffee and a chocolate and sit
Mm-hmm.
down and have a conversation. So, of
Oh,
course, you can do big things, but I like to keep this very simple and just say, you can do this.
no.
All you got
Mm-hmm.
to do is talk to one person, have a conversation. And it's simplicity is the brilliance of it, I think. It's
Yes.
just
Yes.
anyone can do it. Wherever you are, there's no excuses. Wherever
Uh,
you are, you can share a chocolate with somebody.
And you have a logo. I noticed when you sent your paperwork back, you have a logo, and you said you use the hashtag chocolate and coffee day. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, I'd like to for us to participate in that, Grandma's 2.0, because I just think it's so important, especially the times we're living in right now.
Yes.
It's so critical that we believe that there's good in the world because there's
That's
so much craziness going on, and you could very easily slip into, oh, the world is a bad place and everybody is out to get you. But who wants to live like that? You know, I
yeah.
just, I just don't want to live like that. I just refuse. Whenever someone that let's say, here's an example. Whenever I talk to somebody that I don't know and they're rude to me, I have to process that, because if maybe more than one person in one day behaves that way towards me for whatever reason. It could be a lack, poor customer service, and the person on the other end of the phone is rude. It could be someone that I call specifically to talk about something and they're rude for no reason. It could be the person having a bad day, but and then that will kind of slip into, wow, is everybody crazy today? What is going on, right? Or is everybody just mean spirited? What is going on? So, and I don't want to live in a world like that. I don't want to think that the world is like that. So I have to stop and process that and say, that I have to do some internal, what do we call it, self-talk.
Yeah.
You know, everything that's good comes to me. People love me, all those kinds of things. Because if you don't, it's very easy to slip into this whole negative outlook on life, and I just refuse to do that. And it's so easy to do it though because of the world that we're living in today. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, I commend you for starting that, for picking up the mantle on that and running with it, because I think it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I love the whole idea of talking to someone that you don't know, maybe a different race, different culture, different religion. They look different, their abilities are different, whatever. I love that idea. And I think that's a beautiful thing. So thank you and you said 8 years now.
Yeah. 8
Wonderful.
years I've been telling people just have some chocolate and coffee. So now I also talk about chocolate and coffee breaks because why should we keep it for just one day a year? So
Right, right.
yeah, we just have this thing have it in the back of our minds. Hey, I can sit down and have a chat with somebody. I can share a chocolate and coffee with somebody and get to know who they are.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Hmm. And and I believe one of my friends said we went to a concert, maybe I think it was in October, and it was a person who musical artist who'd been around for a very long time, and just well respected in through the culture and everything. And there were all these people there, and for me that was the first time I'd been in a big setting like that since COVID. And so of course we were all a little bit intimidated. And I was talking to different people, and so they said, "Boy, you do know how to work a room, don't you?" And I said, "Well, I think it's important that when you go somewhere, you talk to people. I don't want to just stay in this little corner. When I go somewhere, I really want to get to know the people that are around me, right? And because you just never know who you're going to meet, and it's just so much nicer than just standing in a corner
Yeah.
and be great. And so it kind of reminds me of that same kind of thing. Put yourself out there, talk to people. It's okay.
Yeah. And as an introvert, I understand that it is a difficult thing. And what I'm asking people to do is can be hard for me at times because I am an introvert. So I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I came up with a whole lot of questions that could
Mm,
be used to make it easier.
nice. I love
So
that.
when you go into those situations, it's really
Uh-huh.
good to have a couple of questions in your back corner, in your
Yes,
pocket,
a little bag of
that you
tricks.
can,
Yes.
yeah, so that when you're talking to somebody and you just have that uncomfortable moment, you can pull out one of these questions
Yes.
and start a conversation. So what I find is questions that I use are ones that they're personal, but they're not invasive.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So things like, what is it that brings you peace in the world, in your
Uh-huh.
world? What are the,
And
what is the,
thought-provoking sounds like. Yes.
yeah. So they're the kind of questions that you can start to have a conversation about because somebody will have one answer and you'll have something else, and you can have this
Mhm.
conversation, and you usually find in those conversations you find that similarities between you.
Yes.
So it's just things that just start up, and
Mm-hmm.
whereas you just say, well, what do you do? It's kind of like, eh.
Right, 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 right. Exactly. And that's overrated, right? And overused.
Yeah,
Definitely overused.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, but I like that. Yeah, yeah. And I love the fact that it's an open-ended, so you can't get a yes or no. It has to
Hmm.
be more to it than that. You have to say more than just yes or no. I love those
Yeah,
kinds of questions. And they're
yeah,
thought
yeah.
provoking. And, I am a professor of early childhood. And so that's one of the things that we encourage teachers to do in the classroom with young children ask those open-ended questions so they can think, process. It doesn't matter what they come back with. Over time it will evolve rather into a very intelligent response. But in the beginning, it might just be when you're at, I don't know. And then I just say, well, think about it. I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes or whatever. I want you to think about that question. Why do you think that will do that particular thing? Or why do you think it operates that way? Or how does it, that sort of thing. And so it's the same kind of thing. You're getting them to think about it. And it's just not just the old yes or no
Yeah.
response. Yeah. And so it really bears more conversations. I love that. So congratulations to you for coming up with that idea and for sharing it, putting it out there in the world, because I think it's a beautiful thing. Now,
Yeah.
tell me about your self-publishing company.
Oh, self-publishing. Yes. So I am an author,
Mhm.
and during COVID, I'm just trying. I kind of lose track of when things happen during COVID, because where I live in Melbourne, Australia, we had more lockdowns than anybody else in the
Mm,
world. It was just nuts. So
mm.
my whole 2 years are kind of like, when did that happen? I have no, I
Right,
just
right,
can't
right.
quite have grabbed hold of things. But it came to beginning of last year when I had 3 books ready to publish.
Mm,
And I was like, I can't afford to publish 3 books.
right.
Who can? So instead, I invested in learning the self-publishing game.
Mm, mm-hmm,
How do I do this? How do I make the most out of doing self-publishing? And so I published my 3 books, and then people saying, "Well, can you help me
mm-hmm,
publish my books?" And so next thing I know, I'm helping authors
mm-hmm.
publish books.
Mm. And that was the thing that really fascinated me about your profile and why I wanted to talk with you, because that's something that I've been thinking about myself. So my first book, I was telling you, let me go back up a little bit. So the title of the book is Stories of Inspiration, Life Lesson, and Wisdom from Grandmas.
Hmm.
So all the people in the book, of course, are grandmas, and so I interviewed them, and I had questions that I wanted to ask. And so the first book I self-published, and I didn't know what I was doing, but again, it was on the job training, just like the podcast, right?
Yep.
And then the second time around, I said I should get a publisher, because then I can learn the things that I didn't know with my first one. And and who knows, maybe I'll start helping other people. So the second one, the cover is a lot better. The everything is so much better, looks so much better. But now that gives me an idea of what I need to do, right, the next time. And so I'm on book number 3 now, and it's going to be the same, talking to grandmas, different grandmas, of course, because I'm finding that these grandmas out here are so phenomenal. The things
Hmm.
that they're doing
Yep.
in their grandma days is like amazing. And so I'm just so, I mean, the more I talk to different grandmas, the more I fall in love with being a grandma. Does that make sense? But that's
Yeah.
that's it. That
Yeah. It's
really
a
is
really
it.
special time of life.
Yes, yes. Now,
Mm.
there's a lot of grandmas out there that are not, that are just like, oh, well, my time is past now. I'm just gonna sit here and not do too much and all that. I'm like, girl, no, this is the best time of your life. You have no children at home, for the most part. You can pretty much do what you want when you want to do it. A lot of people are retired, some are not. I'm not retired, but I work from home, so my time is very
Yep.
flexible. And so I'm like, and this is like the best time of my life. If someone would have told me that years ago, I would not have believed it. I
No.
would not have believed it.
Yeah.
But it is. It really is. And
Yeah.
so I'm thinking, I could do this. I could probably, do the whole publishing thing myself. But, I'm a serial entrepreneur. And so when you say visionary entrepreneur, I want you to explain that, because I'm definitely a serial entrepreneur. I have, I've had another company where I did training for early childhood programs because that's my background, my educational background, and I enjoy working with people, so I did that. And then when I started the grandmas, I created a nonprofit around that, and I've been doing that work. So I consider myself, yes, an entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur, because I really enjoy it, right? And so, but I was fascinated when I read that you were a self-publishing company, and I like the
Yes.
name of it as well. Yeah, I really
Yes.
like it. How it plays on your last name. I love that.
Yes. Put in words.
Yeah.
So I just sat there and thought, okay, how can I use my name? Because I think my
Uh-huh.
name's really good for doing that kind of thing because I had a business some years back and it was putting it right.
Ah.
So
Was
that
it
was a
right WRITE or right RIGHT?
RIGHT
Okay.
because it was a health business on the
Okay.
internet. I was an early adapter with the internet way back last century, in the
Okay.
dinosaur
That's
era.
very okay.
Yeah. So I thought, well, it's a good name to play with. So
Yes, to play around
I
with.
thought
Yep.
of putting books. No, I decided putting words because I'm also a speaker as
Hmm.
well as an author. So
Hmm.
I thought putting words. So we
Hmm. I
put things
love
in
that.
words.
I love that. When I always like to title my podcast. So I titled this one "Putting in the Words to Achieve Your Dreams." And I use your
Beautiful.
name right in
Thank
there,
you.
putting in the words to achieve your dreams. Because I figure, as I read your bio and your information, I figured this was probably a dream of hers to do these kinds of things. And so, that was just my take on what I read. You know how you read something that you want to come up with, how would you characterize this particular thing? And that's what I did. But I use your name as your last name in there as well. And then I said also another one I kind of played around with was put into words what you want for your life.
Mm,
So put into words, yes. So I did that too.
yes.
And I like it. You're right. It's a really nice last name to kind of play around with. It really
I'm
is.
blessed. I went back to my maiden name because I just felt it had more to offer me.
Uh-huh, okay. Okay, yeah. I get that. I really like that. I really, really, really like that. So, but now,
Yes.
so next Friday is the chocolate and coffee day.
Yeah.
Um, and we should do a hashtag with that, right? To
Hmm.
kind of publicize it. I want to make sure I remember and just kind of refresh because sometimes when I start talking, I might forget, but I want to make sure I write that down. So do the hashtag for that.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
do have a resource packer full of information on Chocolate and Coffee
Okay.
Day available.
Share it
People
with
can
me.
download and they can go to chocolateandcoffeebreaks.com.
Okay. Okay.
And
Yeah,
so,
share the link with me, please.
sorry?
Please share the link with me.
Yes, I will.
Yes, yes, because
And
I do that.
yeah, there's a whole lot of different ideas that people can do and
Hmm.
all the list of questions that I have and just kind of the basic idea of how to do it on,
Hmm.
just listening and where the guidelines that you really, if you want guidelines, you don't need guidelines, but if you want
Right.
something extra, there is just to explain it all to you clearly.
Okay, okay, that sounds good. That sounds really good. Now tell me about this visionary entrepreneur. What does that mean?
Visionary entrepreneur. Well, being a visionary opens your eye. It's having a lot of ideas.
Hmm.
And I tell you, I have a lot of ideas. And seeing where you can take them, being willing to look at
Hmm.
new things, being willing to just
Yes.
explore what is possible beyond what others may have thought was possible. And as a grandma, we know that we are limitless.
Hmm. Hmm.
When we catch hold of a vision, if we can vision it, we can make it happen. And
Hmm. Hmm.
so being a visionary entrepreneur is that we're always looking for what's possible
Mm,
and finding new ways and new adventures. Let's have adventures, new
yes.
adventures to go on. And I'd
I
like to think we're inspired by needing to have those adventures by our grandchildren because they're always on an adventure.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And the thing is, no matter what, the other thing that I've learned in doing this work is that I'm so inspired by what grandmas are doing out there. Um, I've had an opportunity to interview a grandma who is an artist and sells her work, thousands of dollars. I've had the opportunity to interview a grandma who owns a radio station. I've had opportunity to interview a grandma who is a singer and has always been a singer, but during her grandma days, she put herself out there more, she said. And so I thought that was fascinating. Grandma who was an insurance agent and decided at 50, she was already a grandma, and at 50, she was going to do what she really wanted to do, which was become an interior designer. And then she went on to get her contractor's license.
Mm,
Right. So I've
yeah.
just been wowed by all of these grandmas who are doing these phenomenal things. It's just been really amazing. And it also inspires me. So the reason I wanted to do the book is so that I could tell their stories, share their stories with other grandmas and not just grandmas, but people in general, because I think we all can learn from that. And I'm a lover of motivational books and inspirational books and things like that. I've
Mm.
always read those kinds of books. I would buy them for my children, and now they all read them as well. And so I'm not surprised that my first book, other than my dissertation, of course, was a motivational book. I call it a motivational book. Um, but it's so inspiring by doing the work that I'm doing. And so I love to find grandmas who are out there doing phenomenal things like yourself, like publishing books for not just yourself, but for others, starting a day that will bring people together no matter where they are, who they are. And it's just a beautiful thing. I really love what you're doing. And so I thank you so much for even sharing this with me. Um, and with the time zone difference, I know that was probably a little challenging as well. So I appreciate you doing that also. Now tell us, how can we reach out to you, social media, your website, that sort of information? Please share that for us.
I have a website, andreaputting.com.au. I actually have quite a few websites. It's because I've got chocolate and coffee day, chocolate and coffee
Oh,
breaks,
right, right, right.
podcast I was doing, Social Mission Revolution, and of course, Putting Words Publishing. So there's quite a few. But if
Oh,
you just look for my name, Andrea Putting. I'm the
okay,
only one in the world, so
okay,
I'm easy to find. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Just plug in my name, and there I am.
okay, okay, good, 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 good. Thank you. And the only one in the world. Now that's phenomenal right there.
It
Because
is.
everybody else has a double. In other words, somebody with that same name, just about. So yeah, the only one in the world.
Yep.
As Beyonce say, we need to bow down because that's incredible. That really is incredible because there's so many people with our names out there. Because I was looking, someone told I was in some class and they said we should always Google your name to see what's out there about you, right? I couldn't believe there were so many Marsha McLeans. I'm like, what? But I was the only one in the world. No. And it's special when you're the only one. So
Yep.
yes. Yeah. So, but
Is
let me ask this one final question. With the publishing of the books, how does that work? What do you do for people when you publish? How does that work for you?
I well, they give me their manuscript
Hmm.
and we work through it together in designing how the book's going to look on the outside
Hmm.
and the inside. So I
Hmm.
like to think of the book as I call it myself a bespoke publisher because we create the book into artwork. It looks and feels like the author. So we might put images in it, or it's a way quotes have done, whatever. It's just we work through it so that it feels like them.
Huh.
So, and we get the cover designed and so that everything is in alignment with that. So it's a step-by-step process of taking them through the formatting of the book, the ebook, getting that all onto the different platforms where the book can be presented on Amazon and right through the internet. If you look at for my books or any one of my clients' books, you'll find them wherever you are in the world. They'll be on the internet at all the booksellers.
Mm.
And we get your books to number one
Mm.
on Amazon. So we want to get that bestseller. Everyone wants that bestseller logo. So we
Hmm.
work with that as well. And it's a very personalized experience. And my clients all say that they find the whole thing is very nurturing for them and they just don't get stressed. Just one of my clients is somebody who has a lot of anxiety and is neurodivergent. And she said that she just felt so relaxed and calm through the whole process that
Oh.
I was, it was very nice thing for her to say. But it was, yeah, it's just this step by step from the moment your book's written to getting the book in your hand, ready to sell. That's where I work through with things on how to on preparing for your launch and things like that as well. So
Oh, really?
um
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Because the person I was just thinking about my own experience, the person that I had, he was really good as well. He was calm. He stayed calm. I was not always calm, but he stayed calm. And he also was very patient with me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so like I said, the first one I self-published myself. But then that one I thought, oh God, that's so much trouble and so much headache and anxiety to do that, write the book and then do all the other pieces too. It's just too much. So I really, like I said, was appreciative of him taking me on and taking me through that process. And it was a great process. The other thing he did, he kept me accountable
Yeah.
because I have a lot of things going on. And so, sometimes I can get lost in my own stuff that I have to do. And so he would check in with me and then make sure and all of that. I do like your process with the launch and that part. Now, what about the marketing? Do you also help with that?
Marketing, it's something that I'm working on because I want to I've been investigating a lot of different ideas of late. So um in the future, I may do it, but I have other people that I recommend who can help
Okay,
with marketing. Yeah.
okay. And are you taking on new clients? New
I
authors?
am taking on new clients at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, great, 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 great. So we will let people know about that as well. And maybe you and I can have a conversation. I want to do a book about kinship caregivers who are grandmas.
Oh, that's a really touching subject. I've heard a lot about that, and I just feel like, oh, how do they do this?
Right,
I have a friend
right,
who had to take on her grandchild, and I just go, oh, how do you do
right,
it?
right. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. I feel bad because here I am talking about having fun and living my best life. And there are some grandmas that over there that are raising their grandkids. And I'm thinking, thank God that's not me. I don't know if I could do that at this point in my life because the exhaustion, the
Yeah,
level. care that's required is
Yeah,
way
we
more.
love them to pieces, but not 24 hours a day.
Right, right. It's way more than I can give. And I'm like, God, forgive me. Oh my God. But yeah, and I've heard some stories already. I've talked to 3 or 4 different people already. And I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
incredible,
Yeah.
incredible. And I'm doing my organization is doing I'm calling it an evening of giving where I talk to someone about that at maybe at the national level or the state level, or I'm next week I think I'm talking to some grandparents just to see what the challenges they face, because I feel that people in that particular situation probably need a lot of outside support. Now there are
They do.
organizations that work with them and all that, but
Yeah.
financial support, especially at like this time of year during the holiday season, back to school time if the children are that age. And so I want my organization to be a support to them. And so I was trying to figure out ways to do that. And so I started this thing called the Evening of Giving, where people can donate to two families that we've adopted in order to kind of support them through this year.
Beautiful.
I want to do it during back to school time, and I also want to do it next year. This is the first year I'm doing. I want to do it again next year and make it bigger and bigger and bigger. And so, because I really feel like, oh my God, I'm out here having all this fun and living my best life, and I forgot there are some people that are out there struggling that are
Yeah.
grandparents. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And so,
beautiful.
yeah, and I just want to shine a light on that. Like you said, that's all you can do is help other people be aware of what's going on and help them figure out what they might be able to do. No
Mm.
pressure, but figure out what you can do to
Yeah.
help. And
Yeah.
they're our
That's
peers,
beautiful.
grandparents. They are our
Yeah.
peers, and we should always try to help.
Yeah.
But yeah, so but for one thing, I want to say thank you again for being on the show with me today. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you taking the time to do this, and I'm so grateful. I would love to talk to you at another time about maybe being a part of the book, because I love what you're doing, and those are the kind of stories that I like. And then maybe even you and I can talk about you publishing or helping me publish, or however we want to do it. My the kinship book.
Yeah. That'd be lovely.
Okay,
And maybe
great.
you'd like to be part of the new book that I have working on, which is called A Tea Party with Joy. So
Tea
I'm going to be collecting stories of
Uh-huh.
how people find joy in their life.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So when you're those moments when people aren't feeling very joyful in their life, they can pick up the book and read someone's
yes.
story about
Bring it
joy.
back. Yes, I love that, and I would love to be a part of that. Yeah, just let me know. Just let me know. And what
I
I will
will.
do is I will follow up with you in a few days.
Yes.
Okay, about the book, the interview, and then even about the self-publishing. Okay.
Yep. Lovely.
Thank you so much, Andrea. And this is 2.0, the 2.0 Grandma podcast, and we are signing off now. And I'd like to thank my special guest, Miss Andrea Putting, who is a visionary entrepreneur, a self-publisher, and a grandma. Thank you, Andrea. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Grandma's 2.0 is here to remind us that it's never too late to dream and achieve, regardless of our age. Our mission is simple yet profound. We focus on redefining life for grandmas and empowering them to pursue their dreams and aspirations. With a philosophy grounded in partnership, teamwork, and unwavering support, we believe that, given the right encouragement, grandmas can achieve their dreams and rewrite the narrative of their lives. We firmly believe that no dream is too big or too small when you have the right support system in place. Grandma's 2.0 is all about creating partnerships and networks that empower grandmas to achieve their goals. Our community is a place where grandmas can connect, collaborate, and inspire one another. We understand that success is a collective effort, and we are here to provide the platform for those connections to flourish. Sometimes, life takes unexpected turns, and dreams get put on hold. At Grandma's 2.0, we help grandmas redefine, realign, and redesign their lives. With determination, support, and a positive mindset, grandmas can shatter the stereotypes and limitations placed on them by society. Grandmas 2.0 is not just an organization, it's a movement. It's a call to action for grandmas everywhere to embrace their dreams, aspirations, and the infinite possibilities life still holds. Together, we're proving that age is not a limitation but an opportunity. It's our time to dream and achieve. And Grandmas 2.0 is here to make that journey extraordinary. And now, we're thrilled to introduce our Grandmas 2.0 membership designed to take your journey of rediscovery to the next level. Sign up now at www.grandmas2.0.com and be part of our community.